The rain was falling so heavily that evening that it looked as if the sky had broken open, and every unanswered prayer in the world was pouring down with it. Adam stood outside the old library, clutching the torn strap of his backpack, his shoes soaked through, his clothes clinging to his body. At 22, he already carried the burden of a life that felt twice as long. His father was gone, his mother bedridden, and every night he struggled to decide whether to buy food for himself or medicine for her. But on that night, as the thunder rumbled like angry reminders from fate itself, Adam discovered a decision waiting for him, one that felt too strange to even consider, yet impossible to walk away from. It would pull him out of the world he knew and push him into a story no one would believe, a story that began with desperation and ended with a truth more shocking than he ever expected. Call to action #1 before the story unfolds. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unpredictable ways life can change, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support means more than you know. Adam's life had been a long tunnel with faint light at the end, but he kept walking. He worked nights at a small store, studied during the day, and cared for his mother in the little time between. He had no help, no savings, no future to grasp onto except sheer will, yet the bills kept climbing, and the doctors kept warning him that delay could mean losing the only person he had left. When the university threatened to drop him for unpaid fees, and the pharmacy refused to release his mother's medicine on credit, Adam felt the world closing in. That same night, he met Eleanor Hawthorne. She was 71, wealthy beyond imagination, and known in town only through whispers. Some said she rarely left her mansion because she was ill. Others said she hid her loneliness behind the high iron gates that surrounded her estate. But almost everyone said she was strange, eccentric, unpredictable, and impossible to understand. None of the rumors mattered to Adam until the moment he found her standing alone on the library steps, struggling to pull a thick medical book from her bag. Her hands trembled, and her breathing was shallow. Without thinking, Adam rushed to shelter her under his umbrella. She looked at him with tired eyes filled with a depth of pain he recognized instantly, the pain of someone who had carried too much for too long. Helping her that night set off a chain of moments he never expected. Eleanor discovered he was studying medicine, and despite his embarrassment, he told her about his hardships. She listened quietly, not with pity, but with a gentle attention he wasn't used to. She invited him for tea at her mansion a few days later, insisting she wanted to learn more about his goals and the world he came from. Adam accepted only because she seemed sincere, and because he was drowning. Inside her home, he found walls adorned with memories, pictures of Eleanor with her late husband, art from her travels, shelves filled with books about healing and compassion. She lived in a grand mansion, but seemed surrounded by an emptiness far greater than any poverty he had experienced. Eleanor told him her husband had passed years ago, and she had no children or family left. Illness had taken her strength, time had taken her companions, and wealth had taken her trust in people. She had lived too long in a world where everyone wanted something from her. Except Adam. Perhaps that was why she made him the strangest proposition he had ever heard in his life, a marriage. She admitted she didn't expect a traditional union. She simply wanted companionship, care, and someone honest to share her final years with. In return, she would cover all his expenses, pay for his mother's treatment, and secure his education. Adam didn't know whether to cry, refuse, or run away. The idea felt absurd, yet his mother's failing health haunted every breath he took. After a sleepless night filled with guilt, fear, and desperation, Adam accepted. The news spread across the neighborhood like wildfire. People whispered, mocked, and judged him. Some accused him of marrying for money. Others claimed he was taking advantage of an old woman, Adam endured the comments with clenched teeth because he knew the truth. He would give up anything, even his pride, to save his mother. Eleanor, in contrast, seemed unbothered by society's opinions. She carried herself with quiet dignity, holding Adam's arm the day they signed the papers, her smile soft and grateful. The first 7 days of their marriage were unexpectedly peaceful. Adam visited her every morning before classes, helped her organize her medication, and joined her for dinner in the evenings. She told him stories of the life she lived, the love she once knew, the people she missed, the dreams she never fulfilled. He found himself growing protective of her. She was delicate but warm, wise but lonely. She treated him not as a caretaker, not as a transactional partner, but as someone she trusted wholeheartedly. On the 7th day, everything changed. Adam came to the mansion earlier than usual, carrying Eleanor's favorite jasmine tea. The house was unusually quiet, the halls dim, the air thick with a strange heaviness. The staff looked nervous, but said nothing. When he reached Eleanor's room, he found it open, and there, on the floor near her bed, was a sealed envelope with his name on it. But that wasn't what shocked him. What shocked him was the room beyond the open door, empty. Eleanor was gone. Her wheelchair, her blankets, her medicine, all gone. Not a trace of her anywhere. Panic surged through Adam as he searched room after room. Had something happened to her? Had she collapsed? Been taken to the hospital? Why did no one tell him? When he finally opened the envelope with shaking hands, his breath froze. Inside were 2 letters and a key. The first letter was short, a goodbye. Eleanor explained she had left early that morning to check into a private medical facility for a treatment she hadn't told him about. It was risky, uncertain, and she didn't want him to see her weak or in pain. She wrote that the 7 days they shared were some of the most peaceful moments she had known in decades. She hadn't expected to grow fond of him, yet she did. Adam felt a sting in his eyes as he read her words, their sincerity cutting deep. The second letter, that was the one that changed everything. Eleanor revealed that her marriage proposal had not been a desperate act, but a deliberate choice. She had spent years searching for someone trustworthy, someone genuine, someone who gave without expecting anything. She watched Adam long before they met, his struggles, his sacrifices, his unwavering devotion to his mother. She wrote that she had always believed kindness returned in unexpected ways, and Adam's kindness had returned to her in the form of comfort she thought she had lost forever. Then came the final lines, what truly left him shocked. Eleanor had transferred everything she owned into a trust under his name, the mansion, the bank accounts, her investments, and her lifelong savings. Everything, but he would not be able to access any of it until she returned from treatment. She insisted he continue living his life, caring for his mother, and finishing his studies. The key in the envelope belonged to a small wooden chest in the study, something she wanted him to open. With trembling hands, Adam walked to the study, found the chest, and unlocked it. Inside was a simple gold locket. When he opened it, he found 2 tiny photographs, one of Eleanor in her youth, smiling with her late husband, and one of Adam helping her under the umbrella the night they met. She had captured that moment somehow, maybe through the library's security camera or by asking someone afterward. Beneath the lock, it was a handwritten note, "You brought me warmth when the world felt cold." Adam collapsed into the chair, tears spilling uncontrollably. He had married her out of desperation, yes, but in 7 days the bond they formed became something real, something he didn't understand fully until she was gone, and the thought of losing her now felt heavier than he could bear. Days passed, weeks. Adam visited the facility regularly, even when told she needed rest. He studied harder, worked longer shifts, cared for his mother with renewed hope, and kept Eleanor's locket close to his heart. The mansion felt too big without her presence, but he maintained it as if she would walk through the door any moment. Then one morning, after nearly 3 months, a car pulled up at the mansion gates. Adam rushed out, heart pounding. The door opened, and there she was, frail but smiling, older but glowing with life. She reached out a trembling hand, tears filling her eyes the moment she saw him. Adam ran to her, gently wrapping her in an embrace that held every ounce of worry, guilt, fear, and relief he had carried. Eleanor survived the treatment, and in the months that followed, the mansion slowly filled with laughter. Adam graduated, his mother recovered, and Eleanor regained enough strength to walk again with support. They lived not as a young man and an old woman bound by circumstance, but as two souls who found unexpected companionship in a world that had once left them both broken. Their marriage became a story whispered across town, not one of scandal, but of a strange, beautiful bond that defied expectations. Andrew grew to love Eleanor in a way he never anticipated, a deep, grateful, protective love built not on age or appearances but on shared pain, shared healing, and shared hope. And Eleanor, for the first time in decades, felt truly alive. Call to action #2. If this emotional journey touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue bringing powerful stories like this to life. Special request: before the ending, tell me in the comments what lesson you took from this story. In the end, Adam realized something extraordinary. Sometimes the people who enter our lives unexpectedly, at the strangest time, and in the strangest way, are the ones sent to fix the pieces we didn't know were breaking. And sometimes, love is not found in perfect circumstances, but in imperfect hearts choosing to care for one another anyway. Eleanor once said that kindness always returns in unexpected ways. For Adam, it returned as a 71-year-old woman who changed everything.